What kind of relationship would you say you have with your emotions? Are you free to communicate them with people outside of your comfort zone? For instance, friends or relatives? Or do you stifle them, perhaps even suppress them completely? In my youth, I suppressed my emotions entirely. I wore this as a badge of honor. I honestly thought a big splashy display of emotions was a sign of undisciplined behavior or a sign of weakness. I remember during this period going to see the movie Love Story, a tearjerker. While I was sitting in the theater, that time came for the tears, and I pushed down as hard as I could to make sure it did not happen. I can still remember that feeling, like a burning hot lump of coal sitting in my throat. No diminutive effort. But the tears did not come, so I was successful, as I called it. The years went by. I got married, had 3 daughters. Eventually they reached their teenage years, the older 2. And I was at the movies once again when I noticed a difference in my emotions. Suddenly, when the movie was funny, I would laugh loud. When it was sad, I would cry. And when it was scary, I would shriek. My children, not accustomed to this, were embarrassed and shocked. So they started sitting 6 rows behind me. Eventually, they started sitting on the same row, but all the way down at the other end. Then, they finally sat next to me. Their response, "You're our mother, we do love you." What had happened is that pendulum had swung from one extreme all the way to the other. There would be years going by before that pendulum came close to the center of balance. The years ticked by again. My girls became adults and started raising their own families. I adopted 2 cats instead, my new kids as they like to call them. Once again, I'm watching a movie. This was just a couple of years ago, made for TV, and a young gentleman had a strong love interest, but he was challenged with a huge obstacle, and his father did not want him to have this love interest. He made an outburst that came from a very, very deep place. And this outburst touched me in a place I didn't even know I had. And this emotion erupted from me like a volcanic explosion. And the sound that came out was even foreign to my ears. Suddenly, I burst into tears, heavy sobs. But it felt good. It felt good because my emotions had reached a deep place that I didn't even know I had. One of my cats was just as shocked as I was. She ran from the other room, looked up in my face, smacked me on the leg, and ran back to her room. But the question is, why would I want to share this with you? Because this journey in my emotions is very similar to the journey I had with my life. You cannot suppress that much emotion without suppressing a large part of who you are. What I found is that I was projecting out into the world the me I thought the world wanted me to be, or better yet, the me I wanted to be. What I found instead is that the freedom and peace I was looking for was inside with the me that I truly am, the me with all my faults and my wonderful attributes, the me that God purposed me to be. That is where I have truly found peace and freedom.